All rise. Judge for the B court is now in session. Judge, this is case number JVB 1009, Moore versus Davis.
Thank you.
Ms. Moore.
Okay, thank you. You all may be seated. Okay, Ms. Moore,
Yes, ma'am.
you brought this case before the court. What's going on?
Well, my husband, or I'm sorry, ex-husband, we have a mutually beneficial agreement with our children where he keeps them at night and I keep them during the day.
Okay.
But my job no longer allows me to stay home with them during the day, and I would like for them to go to daycare now during the day, and he does not want them to.
Okay, how old are the children?
2 years and 18 months.
Okay, and you already picked out the daycare you want them to go to and everything like
Yes.
that? How much is it?
It is $500 a month.
$500 for both children?
For one child. So it's $1,000 a month for both children.
Oh, okay.
It's a nationally accredited daycare.
Okay. That's not bad for 2 kids. What's your opposition to that?
All right, folks. Get ready because this one's got some twists. A mother wants to enroll her kids in daycare, but the father? He's completely against it. Sounds like a simple disagreement, right? Not so fast. This battle touches on shared custody, financial obligations, and a dad who's convinced daycare is nothing more than a breeding ground for germs. Enter Judge Bundy, ready to set the record straight. The mother lays it out. Her job no longer allows her to stay home, so daycare isn't a luxury. It's a necessity. But the father won't budge. He insists that family care is the better option. Here's the kicker. He's never even stepped foot in the daycare he's so worried about. It's a classic showdown between logic and emotion. The mother is pushing for stability and routine, while the father wants full control over the childcare decision. And the judge? She's about to cut through the noise and focus on what really matters. Stay tuned. This one's about to get interesting.
I don't think they should be in daycare. I think she should stay with them like we originally planned. I didn't get a chance to check out the daycare. I just would rather them stay with her mom or one of our family members.
Okay, did you let him know which daycare?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
He was invited to go meet the teachers and do the tour, but he opted not to go.
So you did have an opportunity to go?
I was invited, but I don't really want my kids in that daycare. I don't want to be in that
What's
daycare.
wrong with the daycare?
They're full of germs. For starters,
this courtroom is full of germs.
Okay, but children germs, they're next level.
Okay, do they disinfect the daycare?
I don't know that.
They do.
Right, you don't know. So you haven't even had the opportunity, you haven't taken the opportunity to try to do any kind of research.
Okay.
But the fact that there are germs at the daycare, I mean, that's not a good enough reason why you don't want them in there.
I would rather them be with family, people we know.
Okay, I mean, that's a valid point.
The mother lays it all out. She and her ex had a system. She took care of the kids during the day and he handled nights. But now, with a full-time job, staying home isn't an option. Her solution? Daycare. And not just any daycare. A top-rated, nationally accredited center that prioritizes education, safety, and proper care. But here's where things take a turn. The father flat out refuses. Has he checked out the daycare? No. Looked into its reputation? Nope. His reasoning? Daycares are full of germs. That's it. And sure, germs exist everywhere. But dismissing an entire solution over that? A stretch. The mother, clearly frustrated, sees a bigger issue. His deep-seated germophobia. To her, this isn't just about daycare, it's about control. She even hints that his need for control played a role in their breakup. And the judge? She's already picking up on it. This case is about to get real.
Your Honor, may I say something?
Yes.
I'm a doctor. I'm around germs all day. This is one reason that we did not work out.
It's a big problem.
My ex-husband is a germaphobe, and he feels like if the children aren't kept in a bubble basically all day, that something terrible is going to happen to them. But that's no reason. That's no way for these kids to live. And I have to go save lives every day, while he just sits in his living room hermetically sealed off living room in
That's
his
dramatic.
Well, it's not that dramatic. What's dramatic is he wouldn't even show up for this tour at the daycare so he could see that it is a clean daycare. It's nationally accredited. Also, our children would have loved to have seen you.
Okay, look, with all due respect, I don't even want to be in this courtroom, Your Honor.
I can understand that. Sometimes I don't want to be here.
I don't want to be here.
So, I
Yeah,
mean,
but I'm here. I'm here for the kids, and
Now it's the father's turn, and he's not mincing words. He just doesn't trust daycare. He argues that family care is the better option because it offers a controlled, germ-free environment. But there's a major hole in his logic. He's never actually visited the daycare. How can he be so against something he knows nothing about? Then comes the bombshell. The mother calls him out. She claims his obsession with cleanliness wasn't just a parenting issue. It was a relationship issue. And judging by his stance, she's got a point. He wants the kids in a sanitized bubble, but that's just not how the real world works. The judge isn't buying into the paranoia. She reminds him that germs are everywhere, including the very courtroom they're standing in. A well-structured, accredited daycare can't be written off over irrational fears. And as the case unfolds, it's becoming painfully clear. His argument is slipping right through his fingers, and he knows it.
I would prefer if they weren't in a daycare, if they were at one of our family members, where we can give them special instructions on cleaning and what the children need to stay healthy.
well, I definitely understand, and I agree. In a lot of cases, it is good for the children to be around a family member and everything like that. However, age 2 years old, and what was the other age?
18 months.
18 months. I mean, it's nothing wrong with them going to school already. You do want them to start learning a lot of things. You just do. There are some things that you guys are not going to be able to teach them at home. Not that you can't, it's just you may not have the time to do it. So I don't think that's necessarily a bad idea, but I do think it's a good idea for you to go and speak to the teachers, look around the daycare, see about the cleanliness of it and everything like that. And you guys should just work together and co-parent. So,
Now, it's time for the law to step in. The judge doesn't waste a second. Daycare is happening. It's a place where the kids will learn, grow, and interact with others, something they'd miss out on if kept at home. And the father's concerns? They don't hold up against the facts. Case closed on that front. But then comes the next big question: who's paying? The judge keeps it simple. Both parents will split the cost, $500 each. Fair and reasonable, right? Not in the father's eyes. He argues that since daycare falls during the mother's time, she should foot the bill alone. The judge isn't having it. She lays it out plain and simple. If he fights this, child support calculations will come into play. And if that happens, he could end up paying a lot more than $500 a month. Reality hits fast, and he backs down. The decision is final, and the court moves on.
the agreement is just going to stand what it is. You guys keep doing your agreement where you have your time with the children, and you keep rotating like that. Nobody should pay child support in this type of situation. But what I will do to make sure that daycare does get paid is that you guys split it. So $1,000, you pay $500, you pay $500, and it's going to go through the Attorney General of Texas. And that's just the best way to do it, because that at least ensures that the children's daycare is paid for month to month.
Okay, but now I'm paying for the daycare that I don't want them to go to, and I have them at night. She's supposed to be responsible for the day. If they were in night care, I would pay for it, and I just don't see how this is fair. She makes 3 times as much money as I do.
Right, but you guys have been splitting the children, right? You've been splitting the children, and it's not a bad idea. And honestly, that's a very reasonable cost for 2 children at a daycare, because a lot of times, especially the younger a child is, the 18-month-old, it could be more expensive than that. And I think that's fair. Or, I could base, let me see, how much money you make a year? Let's see. Your document says $62,000?
Yes, ma'am.
Would you like for me to base child support that you pay her off of $62,000 a year? Because I can assure you it will be more than $500.
Then no.
Okay, well, in that case, is there anything further between either
No,
of you?
Your Honor. Thank you.
That'll be all? That'll be all from you? Okay, where you all are dismissed.
And just like that, the legal system does its job. The father may have resisted daycare, but personal fears don't outweigh what's best for the kids. The judge ruled with their well-being in mind, not a parent's comfort level. And in this case, daycare was the obvious choice. As for the money, a fair split. The father tried to argue, but the numbers weren't on his side. The judge didn't sugarcoat it. Fight too hard, and child support calculations would kick in, likely costing him even more. With no real options left, he had to accept. That's how fairness works in the courtroom. This case sends a clear message. Shared custody isn't about control, it's about cooperation. A parent's personal anxieties can't rewrite reality. And when fear clashes with logic in court, logic wins, every time.